Hi everyone. This video will demonstrate how to use an online LaTeX equation editor to help create equations. This tool is pretty cool because it will allow you to copy your equations, paste them directly into Canvas, Microsoft Word, or Google Docs. So you can just write your equation once and put it everywhere that it needs to be without having to retype anything. I provided a direct link to the tool in my post, but if you're not on Canvas later and you want to find it, just do a Google search for online LaTeX equation editor, and it's the first hit. It will come right up. So we'll head on over there. You'll see I would recommend, everything is pretty small, at least on my little laptop screen here. So I always just kind of zoom in a little bit to make it easier, especially the first few times you use this, because there are a lot of different options up there. You won't need all of them, but if you're a math teacher and you haven't discovered this tool yet, it is awesome. So the problem that I want to solve, I have here in Microsoft Word, like I would if it were my homework assignment. So I'm going to take my text here. I have my problem in a balanced chemical equation. I'm just going to copy that and then go into Canvas and put this into my discussion reply. So I'll paste it. So I have my text comes out great, but you'll see that there's this weird space. But more importantly, my arrow has been replaced with this symbol. There are a couple of things you can do. You can either do dash dash greater than, which does not auto format nicely. So if you're OCD like I am, then you can go up here to this awesome little tool called Insert Math Equation. And so I'll click on that. Just FYI to the Mac users out there, when I use Safari, I don't get that option in my toolbar. I only see that option in my toolbar when I'm using Google Chrome. So what I want to do is find an arrow. I just need an arrow. So I'm going to click up here on arrows, and then I'm going to pick this one. And so here I have an arrow. So this is what I want to insert. So I'm going to click insert, and now I have a nicer looking arrow. Now, this is asking to calculate the mass of CO2 produced during the combustion of 250 grams of octane. There are a couple of things you could do here. You could actually, if you wanted to, you could just go and insert a math equation, click on this tool and then use everything up here it works more like most other equation editors. The problem with this, at least for me, is that it does not play nicely. It doesn't export to Word and Google Docs very well. So I've chosen not to do it this way because it just it's more work actually. So I'm going to close out of here. And so I'm going to go over here to the equation editor, the online one. So you'll see, type your equation in this box. Right now it says invalid equation down here because I don't have anything in there. So we're going to take our information. I'm trying to, again, we want to find out how much CO2 we get when we combust 250 grams of octane. So I'll enter in the information I know, 250.0 grams of octane. So I want to put in the formula for octane. I like to label all of my units as thoroughly as possible. So to enter a chemical formula, we're going to use this tool here, which is when you go over here, you get all these superscript and subscript options. So I'll choose this for a subscript. And so what I need, I forgot to put in my carbon for my octane. And then my subscript for carbon is going to be 8 because it's octane. So then I'm going to arrow over so that I'm out of what's in the brackets. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my hydrogen. I'll type in my H, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to choose a subscript. And then I'm going to put 18 in there. Now it looks a little strange and can be kind of hard to follow at first, but if you go down here, you can see what it looks like. So um, it looks fine except that I have no space here. Even though I typed a space in here, it doesn't recognize spacebar space. So what you have to do is actually go in and insert a space. So these buttons here give you spaces. This is a thin space, medium space, thick, and negative. So I'm a fan of medium space, so I'm just going to click on medium space, and it puts in this little symbol, and you'll see down here now I have a space. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put in another space, and I want to multiply by my first conversion factor. I want to convert my mass of octane to moles of octane. So I'll go over here to my operators. I'm going to go down to multiplication. So I got times, and then I'm just going to give myself another space. And now I need to put in a conversion factor. So which is basically just a fraction. So I'm going to go over here to the fraction tool, and I'm going to click on that. And now you'll see down here it says invalid equation. Well, that's because I have a fraction here with nothing in it. So where the cursor is now is where you put what you want in the numerator. And then, so for me, if I'm trying to convert to moles of octane, I'm going to do 1 mole of octane. And I'm not going to keep retyping octane. I'm just going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to stick a space in there. Okay, so that's my numerator. I still see invalid equation down here because I have no denominator. In my denominator, I'm going to put the molar mass of octane, which is 114.2 grams. So now that I have a valid fraction, you'll see the equation reappears, and that's what I want it to look like. So I can, if I want to be super neat, I can do this. Okay. All right, so I'm putting another space. So I'll do my next conversion factor exactly the same way. Put in my multiply, and then I'm going to go put in another fraction. And this time I have 16 moles of, whoops. Put in too many spaces, 16 moles of CO2. So what I'm going to do here is just do CO, and then go down here for my subscript, do 2. And so that's my numerator. And then I can go down here to my denominator and put in the other part of my mole fraction, 2 moles of octane. So again, I'm going to copy and paste, putting in a space, my octane. Okay, and you can see down here that it appears the way I want it to. Space. Then I'll go back over here to, whoops, put in too big a space. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to, I need to convert to mass, so I'm just going to put in my last conversion factor again, putting in my fraction, and I have 44.01 grams. My denominator, 1 mole, putting in my spaces here, of CO2. I'm going to copy the CO2, put that here, and voila, it looks the way I want it to. And then I'll finish it off, equals 770.8 grams. And I'll put in another space and CO2. Okay. All right, so what do you do now? So what you can do is if you take this and copy it, Okay, so I've copied it to my clipboard. I'm going back over here to Canvas, and I have my cursor here. I'm going back here to insert math equation. And what I'm going to do is switch to advanced, because if you notice up here, switch view to advanced to paste LaTeX. So I'm switching to advanced, and I'm going to paste this in, and you can see it's interpreting it correctly, and I'm just going to click insert equation, and there it is. So so I have it in my Canvas discussion, and if I need to then take that and put it into my Microsoft Word document, what I'm going to do is go back here, and I can't copy and paste this directly into Word because it'll look just like that. But if I go here and click to download the image, and there it is, and if I just click on it, there's my equation. If I just copy that and then go into Word and paste it, there it is. And if I need to, I can make it a little bit bigger if it's not easy enough to read. I can resize it to whatever I want. So that makes it there. I know it's right into Word. I believe, I haven't actually tried this, do the same thing with Google Docs. And there's another way you can do it in Google Docs as well. If you have the add-in for auto LaTeX, then you can basically put in, you do $$ and then you can take the actual source copy and paste, close it with 2 more $, hit render, please work, and there it is. So that's another way you can do it with Google Docs, because Google Docs recognizes LaTeX, which, as far as I can tell, Microsoft Word does not. So it's a little bit longer than I had hoped, but hopefully you'll find that helpful. And the more complex your calculations are, the better I think the LaTeX editor is than even equation editor in Microsoft Word. All right, thanks.